I remember blue lights, 5 years old in the backseat, counting snowflakes in the sky. You were singing while we drive. I remember cold nights, shimmering snow under my feet, making castles so wide, never felt so alive. I remember, where did all the time go? Am I getting too old? I remember, pick me up, we'll drive all night, watching the world go by, like we used to, like we used to. Watching the world go by, like we used to, like we used to. Watching the world go by. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Watching the world go by. I remember you said, keep on moving, the sky's the limit. Don't look at me now, I'm down here on the ground, but I'm not done yet. I never knew how hard it gets. Friends can let you down. I wish you were around. I remember, where did all the time go? Sundays used to move slow. I remember, pick me up, we'll drive all night, watching the world go by, like we used to, like we used to. Watching the world go by, like we used to, like we used to. Watching the world go by. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Watching the world go by. I remember, pick me up, we'll drive all night, watching the world go by. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Watching the world go by. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Watching the world go by. I've fallen down upon my knees, I'm broken. Was it something I could see? How could you? How could you? I'm more than you think, you know what I'm made of. I'm more than you think, you know what I'm made of. I'll take the blame for all my mistakes. Well, it seems like you know everything, but I'm more than you think. You're not so perfect, couldn't walk a mile in my shoes. You got skeletons in your closet too. I know you're hurting, try to tell the world you're so cool. You got skeletons in your closet too. I'm learning, now I found what I was missing. Never thought I'd finally see. How could you? How could you?
Hope everyone's doing well. It's Monday, and hey guys, I'm Charles Klein. Thanks for coming in for this Logic Live session. Thanks King and Eamon for getting things started in the comments. If you're using FL Studio in this music production tutorial / kind of little walkthrough we're gonna go, that's fine. I have used FL Studio as well. A lot of the principles in this video will be similar because we're going to be talking about how to take a song from this little voice memo I have up here. There's new recording 551 and new song idea. These are just like voice memo tracks I took from my iPhone, literally right here this morning, and they're just, I'll show you them in a second. It's just me singing a little melody I had, and I turned it into this kind of song, and I produced a bit of this song. So I'll explain how I got through that. So just for everyone kind of listening who's hasn't been into this before, this is a session I do every Monday. It's a music production session. We are primarily using Logic for our sessions, so some sessions are more tutorial-based, specific things for Logic. But just like anything music, a lot of this is transferable if you're using another DAW. And then on Fridays, we talk about music marketing. And so last Friday, we did a cool Q&A about how to release music. And I had just released a song myself. So I was kind of going through some of that and showing some strategies I use to get streams. And so far, it's going so well. The goal was to get 100,000 streams in the first month. And we're about 11,000 streams now. So slow and steady. This is, let me give you an idea here, so of what this little voice memo sounds like. And I did this, I think actually yesterday morning. I just woke up. Just a simple melody I had in my head, so I'll play it for you. Yeah, super awkward. So a lot of voice memos sound like that for me. It's more like just get the idea on the phone. Don't worry at all if you're on pitch or anything. Just remember it so you can know it for later. And then this was like a kind of a chorus idea I had for this similar tempo song. Yeah, so I think that's the first thing I said this morning, or where I think it was this morning or yesterday morning I did that. And now it turned into this. So let's have an idea. And I haven't written the verse or pre-chorus to this song yet. So anyone tuning in, I'm just going to show you the song of what it's produced now in the last few hours I did. And but I did write a chorus. So these are how I write lyrics. I usually write a melody first, and I'll come up with some gibberish, and I'll just sing gibberish into a mic. See, I've just done like a bunch of takes here, different types of melodies based off my voice memo, and then I am starting to write the lyrics for the chorus. I came alone, set upon myself and nothing wrong the town. I can't know, you said nothing that you can't cross. But how far would you go? Would you come back alone with life? Would you dare alone last night? Would you care alone
you're staring at the eye of the tiger. Don't try to hide it, a knot in the wire, kink in the armor. Don't let go, don't let go. There's so much that I want you to know. Like when we lie beside each other, I can feel it trying to be smarter. Only makes it harder. Let it out, let it out. There's so much that I want you to know, so don't let go.
So this is the idea that it's turned into so far, and this is very rough still. It's in the production and songwriting stage, so not worried too much about the mix, more concerned of the dynamics and where the song is going. So how did it come to this, right? Thanks, Ricardo. That's awesome, man. I appreciate that. So how did I get the song like this? Because you might find yourself in these positions where it's like, how do you start a song, right, from scratch? Maybe you have some voice memos, maybe you don't, but it doesn't really matter. We'll kind of go through how to start something from scratch, because all this was a little melody idea I had, and what I really took from this was the rhythm in this part. It's better, I think, up here, over here. And then this part here. So those two parts I really liked, and I found there was a lot of rhythm in these melodies. And so I first got a guitar. I'm either starting with some guitar or piano, and then I'm going to make a beat on top of that. So I started just with putting a simple progression down with this. So that's just a C minor to a an E flat major to a sharp or a B flat major. I really am like more by ear than by notes, but if I'd like to mention that for you if you guys are theoretical. So getting this progression down helps to make something. You need some foundation. So whether you play guitar, get a guitar piece down, or whether you play piano, get a piano, some chords down that you can sing that melody over on your voice memo, and that's your foundation. We're going to use this as our foundation. We need that. We can start with the beat. That's fine, but then the next step from a beat would be to get the foundation of the progression. We need this as to build our house on. If you don't know how to play this kind of thing, then you can drag in some loops here to start with Apple loops, or you have samples, you have splice loops, or you can also use like if we just load up a piano track here, you can open up the MIDI effects in Logic and you do chord trigger, and this is going to trigger play chords for you. So I'm just on my MIDI here, and then sorry, that's super loud. This chord trigger effect in Logic will play the chords for you. I'm just playing one note on my MIDI keyboard. So that's a handy little thing if you want to play chords with one note on your keyboard. The other thing is the arpeggiator, which is really cool, and I'll get into because I did use an arpeggiator in this song. Oh, and keep in mind too, let's use the chat if you guys have questions or you see something that I'm doing in the session and you want to know more. I can definitely diverge a bit and talk about different things here and there. and we can weave our way through this lesson while I'm kind of focusing on building this song here. Okay, so we have this guitar part now. So now we can add more foundation. I went to add a drum beat, and I felt that the rhythm was very straight, so I had a kick and snare just 4 on the floor and snare on the second and fourth beats, but it was just too straight, so I ended up just switching it to something a little more loose with a bit more swing to it. So, and I'll show you how I made this drum beat. I guess I'll just do the chorus. Very, very simple beat. I made this very quickly. I used a step sequencer in Logic to make beats really quickly. So you open up your editor window or by pressing E, and you can open up the step sequencer here. And I just made the pattern by clicking in like kick snare, kick snare, and I usually do 64 steps. And then I will actually play my hi-hats on the controller because I like having that velocity feeling, but you can also put the hi-hats in here very quickly. So I'm always using the step sequencer when I'm doing production because it's super fast. So I'm just going to, and then when you do make a beat in the step sequencer, you can right click and just go to convert to MIDI region. And then after that, you would say, there's another step. Well, I can kind of do it for you, I guess. Convert to MIDI region, and then now it's green, and then you say separate by note pitch, and then that will go down to its appropriate track here. So these will like come down. So I'm just going to delete those. And these are just samples that I have, like kick and snare samples. This shaker, I actually just recorded this with this thing. So it's a real shaker. Having real bits in your production wherever you can adds a lot more than you think. So doing like shakers, percussion, guitars, if you have piano, if you have bass, the more real stuff, the cooler it can sound. And then obviously using a balance of modern production and heavy like punchy sounds to make it really pop. And then I did flex time here just to knock everything in place. Okay, so after I had the beat and the guitar, then you're already kind of off to a groove. And you can hear the guitar is super warpy. It's sounding not like good, but it's not that bad, and it's in time, and that's all we care about right now, because the important things are just have things in time and have the idea there. If we're get down to the end of the song and we're like, oh my god, the song's amazing, I want to re-record everything and maybe touch the lyrics up and stuff, then I would go and do everything over again. But just to save your time, don't worry about like getting things perfect. This was a one take on the guitar, and then I just kept going. And then I usually like to get a bass in there after to just make things really sound big. Now, what was missing in this song here for me was just like, I started writing lyrics at this point, so I have enough to write lyrics. So what I do is, where's my vocal here? I would just pop up a vocal track And usually, like, if I'm feeling comfortable, I'll just sing without any effects on it. Or so I might go like, just start recording right away. Just say vocal takes. But sometimes if you want to record with some compression or maybe throw an auto tune on there or some reverb to get in a vibe, then that also helps a lot. So what I would do at this point, now that there's enough instrumentation to come up with a melody and write lyrics, I would come up with a melody in 3 different sections. So the markers aren't really telling the song. So there's like intro. How are you guys doing, by the way, in the comments? It's quiet today. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm just going to do a bit of structure here. Intro, pre-chorus. Give that another color. So I'm just doing some quick organization here. Because this is what I talk about in my Logic Pro X tutorials anyways, to keep organized. So I really should be doing this. Where's everyone tuning in from, by the way? I'm always still wondering on the time, guys. So it seems like now, like 10 or 15 people were just watching a minute ago. So maybe this is the right time. Okay, we have an intro verse, we have a pre-chorus, and we have a chorus. So we need 3 different melodic sections to the song. And also, thanks, Eamon. Sorry if I'm. I noticed you're saying you just said you're from Ireland. I know that some of the names are difficult to enunciate, so my bad. I also don't know how technical I should get or how beginner level I should keep it. So I'm going to just try to keep it beginner because that seems to be always the best bet. And then if everyone is like, this is too easy, then just tell me to speed it up in the comments, because I'm happy to talk more technical, but don't want to lose everyone. So I'm not sure if I should skip to the more difficult stuff right now, or I'm going to keep it basic. Okay. So when you're writing a song, I'm typically talking about modern music, very non-experimental music here. So for example, I write alternative indie pop songs. This is kind of a similar energy in this song. And structurally, you should have different sections that the audience, the listener, can follow. And so in this song, we have 3 different buckets, 3 different sections, an intro, verse, a pre, and a chorus. So all these sections should have different melodic tastes and different instrumentation, and they should build from left to right in dynamic. So the introduction and verse doesn't have a lot in it. It has an ARP that we'll put in a second, some atmospheric guitar, and then the pre comes in where the bass and kick and snare come in, and then the chorus, more percussion and more guitar. And so all that production wise can give us an idea of like how this song could sound like. Okay, so without me having to like go over and doing the vocal melodies again, let me just show you kind of how I would have done this. I just did like a Logic comp take. It's gonna be loud, so I'm just gonna turn this down. Actually, gonna delete these. I don't need those. It's just taking up space. Delete some of these. Oh crap! I just deleted the whole thing. Cool. Let's listen to some of these. I know that you've been away always slow, right on my love is saying, and you come and you know what day I've been, you know my heart won't be around. Oh hey, but you know where to run, you know where to say, you know it. So the idea there is, this is just me like literally blabbing stuff. I'm trying to sing words and whatever comes to my head, and usually the lyrics come from that. That works for me. And I know I have the, what is it? Yeah, like 8 bars here, right? So I know I have to come up with a melody that at least lasts 8 bars. And when it's coming up to that 8th bar, it needs to change. So you can see here already in that first one, I had the idea of doing kind of a 4-line verse structure and then changing into a pre here. Probably is similar with these as well.
You know they're calling back on my side, and when you're going back down in direction, I know you needed someone to rely on, but I can't own my protection. When you said I'm going to love,
Again, yeah, listening to these are some of them are pretty funny. And now we have, so that's first melodic section, then second melodic section, we need something else. So I think it was this.
But how far would you go? Would you come back alone with life? Would you still alive? And I know what you keep. Would you run away inside?
And another good thing to point out to that, when you're writing verses and when you're coming up with melodies, they should all be contrasting. So you shouldn't have a verse, pre, and chorus melody that are like full of lyrics and full of repetition. Like if the verse is like this.
I know you came across and better inside near. Oh my love, I know you came on a crack. The coast and northern the wind on the side. And
so like the da na 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 da 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 da. That's a lot of it's cool, it's rhythmic, it's nice, but it's a mouthful and it's a lot of information. So 8 bars is fine, but after 8 bars, take a break and switch it up. Like give the listener a break with less lyrics and a sparse melody. So if you're gonna do something like that, then go sparse.
But how far would you go?
Let the music breathe.
Would you come back alone with life?
Breathe, breathe, breathe.
Would you still alive? And I know what you keep.
Breathe, breathe, and then
would you run away inside?
And if you have that pre-chorus that's more space, then you can get busy again in the chorus. And you can also do it the opposite. It can be spacey in the verses, busy in the pre's, spacey again in the chorus, and it could be also a mix of space and busy in the chorus. Our chorus here is, I would say it's a bit of a mix.
I know you're staring at the eye of the tiger. Don't try to hide it, a knot in the wire, kink in the armor. Don't let go, don't let go. Ooh, there's so much that I want you to know.
Sorry, so many things are happening now. I have a vocal taken here. Something else is happening.
I know you're staring at.
Where is that vocal coming from?
I know you're staring at the eye of the tiger. Don't try to hide it, I'm not in the wire.
Oh, it's the idea. It's the idea. That's what it is. Okay. Okay, so yeah, let's listen to the chorus.
I know you're staring at the eye of the tiger. Don't try to hide it, I'm not in the wire. Kink in the armor. Don't let go, don't let go. There's so much that I want you to know. Like when we lie beside each other, I can feel it. Trying to be smarter only makes it harder. Let it out, let it out. There's so much that I want you to know, so don't let go.
Now, this isn't the most amazing chorus, but it does structurally follow a structure and a rhyme pattern, which is good, and which are some things that we can talk about here. And I've listened to a lot of songs from you guys, and one thing that is missing is structure and a rhyme pattern, because it just helps the listener follow along. So structure lyrically rhythmically, lyrically and melodically. So, which this chorus does have. So you can hear it like,
I know you're staring at the eye of the tiger. Don't try to hide it. I'm not in the wire.
So melodically, da 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 da, right?
In the armor, don't let go, don't let go. There's so much that I want you to know.
And that piece is exactly the same melodically as the second part here.
Like when we lie beside each other, I can feel it trying to be smarter, only makes it harder. Let it out, let it out. There's so much that I want you to know, so don't let go.
So melodically, it's good to have that. Keep in mind, obviously, music is super subjective. You don't have to listen to anything I say. I'm just telling you things I think the general population enjoy. Lyrically, it fits. The structure is the same in the first half and the second half, and the words, the repetition of the lyrics is more kind of what I want to point out. Actually, there's repetition here in these parts.
Kink in the armor, don't let go, don't let go. There's so much that I want you to know. Let it out, let it out. There's so much that I want you to know.
Like, use repetition to your advantage. Repetition is great because people remember the stuff, but it's simple, it's easy to understand. It's like, think of your favorite song. Guarantee there's repetition in that song. All the big pop songs, every popular song has repetition in it. So repetition is the second one. And what did I say the other thing was? Lyrically, melodically, and structurally. I don't really know. Like, I don't really know. Like, I'm not a professional songwriter either. Like, I've written hundreds of songs, but I also don't know, like, terms, I guess.
I know you're staring at the eye of the tiger. Don't try to hide it. I'm not in the wire. Kink in the armor. Don't let go, don't let go. There's so much that I want you to know. Like when we lie beside each other, I can feel it trying to be smarter, only makes it harder. Let it out, let it out. There's so much that I want you to know, so don't.
That's another thing. That's the other thing is that sounds like a chorus. To me, it's definitely a chorus. And another thing I hear a lot in songs is I don't hear a chorus when I hear some songs. It sounds like a verse or a pre. And you couldn't really imagine hearing this song, this bit of the song anywhere else, right? Like if I put it over here, it would be weird, I think. Let's try it.
I know you're staring at the eye of the tiger. Don't try to hide it. I'm not in the wire. Kink in the armor. Don't let go, don't let go.
Actually, that's a cool thing to do. These are completely different chord progressions. So it's in the same key, but
I know you're staring at the eye of the tiger. Don't try to hide it. I'm not in the wire. Kink in the armor. Don't let go, don't let go. There's so much that I want you to know. Like when we lie beside each other, I can feel it trying to be smarter, only makes it harder. Let it out, let it out. There's so much that I want you to know, so don't let go.
actually, now I'm going to take that back. Like, this kind of sounds a bit like a pre-chorus, and I'm using it over this other progression. Like, this is a different progression here in the chorus. It went up to the G sharp in the chorus. Yeah, actually, logic will tell you. The A flat. Yeah, G sharp. And so Yeah, if you play chords on your keyboard, Logic will tell you at the top here what the chord is. You've probably seen that. And I think this actually sounds cool as a pre-chorus. So these are things you can do, like just move things around to see what works. I'm just gonna keep it like there for now because I'm gonna try that later. Move things around, and that will give you different ideas. And I also suggest doing that when you're producing and writing songs. When you hit a wall, move things around, and things will sound different, and you will think about them differently. Okay, so yeah, what should I? How's everyone doing? I'm just gonna keep going here, unless you guys have some specific questions on things. I added an ARP, and this ARP really adds some brightness to the good, I'm good. In the verses, it really like fills. So same thing for the pre, and then the chorus, it gets a bit brighter. And adds a huge amount of rhythm.
Feel it, trying to be smarter, only makes it harder. Let it out, let it out. There's so much that I want you to know. So I know you're staring at.
Actually, I added the chorus in there wrong.
I know you're staring at the eye of the time.
Yeah, so I love ARPs. This is an ARP. This is a Serum synth, but I'm using just the MIDI effects ARP tool in Logic. It's a 1/8 triplet, and it's just a simple pattern here. So another handy tip: throw an ARP with the MIDI effects on any instrument you have, and let Logic do its work and make a pattern of your own, or just choose a rate up here, and Logic can make one for you. Which softwares do you recommend with people without Apple products? I would recommend like using Pro Tools maybe, or FL Studio maybe. I don't even know what I just did there. I turn on the flex time. Yeah, FL Studio or Pro Tools if you're not using maybe Ableton. Actually, Ableton probably. Yeah, I would use Ableton. I use Ableton for when I play live. Before Logic had their live loops, this section here, and I was using Ableton. So I do use Ableton sometimes, but I also just prefer using Logic as a singer-songwriter. I'm not making so much electronic music that where electronic producers really, I think, prefer Ableton. But you can really do it all in Logic. So if you're listening to this and you have Logic and you're an EDM producer, do not fret. You can do it in Logic. Okay, so yeah, with the ARP and then added keys in the chorus, this is just a simple stock keys here with a lot of reverb. In that mid area, like you can see the frequency range here. Oh man, did not. So this keys are always great to have those mids, and what I mean by mids is like literally the middle of the frequencies here, like this area. I mean, piano can be anywhere, but it's great for these mids if you don't have a vocal in yet. Because if we look on our multimeter with everything running here, just one second.
much that I want you to know.
It's pretty good. Like we have a more or less a full range of sounds here. Nothing is that empty, but if we popped out the vocal, see how much space the vocal takes. Like this 1K range. And I put the keys out. So this is a cool tool just to, if you can't hear the frequencies, just look at this graph. It's a multimeter. It's a paid Logic or free Logic, stock Logic tool, and put it on your master track. Just see where the sounds are in your song and see if anything's missing. Like if we were producing a song and we needed to know what else other instruments to add, maybe you can look at this before you're just like, let's add another bass, you know, or like, because you really don't want to overwhelm the frequency range with too many frequencies that are hitting each other. And that's what this song actually, this production is, because we have drums, which are like full thing here. Sorry, I'm just getting a notification from Logic or from YouTube saying YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Shite. Okay, well, I'm gonna carry on. This happened last time too. And then bass, super low, as you can see. So if your next instrument, it shouldn't be anything low. So I would do like keys and ARP in the mid range. Guitars, filling up that mid and high range. More guitars, filling the highs, and then the vocal is gonna fill everything out, plus a piano in the mid, and those mids too.
Eye of the tiger, don't try to hide it. I'm not in the wire, kink in the armor. Don't let go, don't let go. There's so much that I want you to know. Like when we lie beside each other, I can feel it. Trying to be smarter only makes it harder. Let it out, let it out. There's so much that I want you to know, so don't let the eye of the tiger. Don't try to hide it. I'm not in the wire, kink in the armor. Don't let go, don't let go. There's so much each other. I can feel it. Trying to be smarter only makes it harder. Let it out, let it out. There's so much that I want you to know, so don't let go.
I'm just looking at the vocal frequency range because I think they could use like more highs, but I usually try not to get so deep down into like EQing things when I'm in production phase. It's just more like your production / mixing, EQing things, or just doing quick shaping so it sounds good enough that you're not like so annoyed while you're producing the song. Actually don't need this piano anymore. I actually don't know who Hudson Taylor is, so that's cool. I'm going to check her out, or him, or them. You never know. What is one thing you wish you knew before you began making music? That's a great question because I'm struggling to answer it. Wow, one thing I wish I knew. I didn't know. I think it's important not to know things. That if I knew it was, I think as a musician, it's important to be proactive and methodical about a lot of things, but I think you need to be naive about how hard it can be, because if you knew everything and how hard it is, I think a lot of musicians wouldn't carry on. and carry out building their craft and trying to make it, to get their songs out in the world, because it is quite difficult. But if you knew all the hurdles you were up against, I'm not sure if many people would. So I think it's important not to know all the hurdles, which is I try to stay away from any of like negativity or like distractions. Let's say distractions. And I just focus on things I can control. So I would say I didn't probably learn that quick enough. So one thing I wish I knew right when I started was just focus on things you can control and only worry about that, and then keep moving as fast as you can. And it makes a ton of sense, because if you can control things, you can move as fast as you want, and you don't have to have anyone in your way. But as soon as you start worrying about things you can control, or worrying other people that you have to rely on, then it starts getting frustrating because you can't control other people. So BB Tone says, hey Charles, as a Logic expert, could you audition different samples scrolling down with the arrow keys from the Logic browser while playback, just to hear if one sample fits better? Yeah, like, are you thinking, BB, to add a sample to this song in the Apple Loops browser? Because we could try to make something fit. Like if we're looking for, if we don't want the keys and we want some other type of instrument, maybe an electric piano or something, we can go to our loop browser and search like electric piano. I would probably search the key. I didn't know if I think we're actually in C major. C minor. C minor. So I would search by the key in minor. In 4/4 is fine. And where's the key here? C. So let's just play some of these. I'm not sure how loud this is going to be, by the way. It could be pretty loud. Super jazzy. Okay, I don't like the electric piano right now. Let's just do a synth, maybe. C minor. That just makes me want to make an EDM song so bad. That vibe right there. Okay. This might not be the right one we're looking for. Okay, so if I was looking at this song objectively, what would needed if I took out the keys? Maybe some, and we weren't going to use keys, I would probably maybe use some strings. I'm trying to look for... Let's just use this, and we can play with it. So what's going to happen is as soon as you bring an Apple loop in, it's going to time to your project, which is nice. See, it's loaded in at 130, even though over here it says 179. And what we can do.
Eye of the tiger, don't try to hide it. I'm not in the eye of the tiger, don't try to hide it. Eye of the tiger, don't try to hide it.
So it's that first note actually. This is a completely different vibe, by the way. Like, keep in mind, let's do this right now as a principal thing, but not really. This is changing the whole energy, but I think that first note actually fits decently well.
Eye of the tiger, don't try to hide.
So what I'm gonna do is start like cutting things a bit. I have my right click tool on so I can like quickly cut things. So that first note there kind of sounded cool.
Eye of the tiger.
And then the second note here.
Why?
Let's just solo this. This note, I can take that and put it here. Should something like this. 2, 3, 4, boom, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just make that line up a bit better. It's kind of like a stringy thing, so that's fine. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Maybe it's this. Boom. Then maybe boom, and then the lower one. Do we have the lower one? I'm gonna delete that one. Do deep up. So option down arrow. I'm gonna pitch this down. Oh, almost there. Oh, there. No. I actually don't know what I'm looking for anymore. I need to hear it in context.
Eye of the tiger, don't try to hide it. I'm not in the wire.
Oh man, so many troubles. I think I know what's wrong. It's actually a major. Yeah, and I want a minor. That's not gonna work.
Eye of the tiger, don't try to hide it. I'm not in the wire. Kink in the armor, don't let. Eye of the tiger, don't try to hide it. I'm not in the wire. Kink in the armor, don't let go, don't let go.
And then I would just add a crap ton of reverb.
Eye of the tiger.
And some delay. 2, 3, 4.
Let go, don't let go. There's so much that I want you to know. Like when tiger, don't try to hide it. I'm not in the wire, kink in the armor. Don't let go, don't let go. There's so much that I want you to know.
Actually, could be cool. Like something like that would be cool, bouncing back and forth. So one of two ways you can do that is the easy way. If you have sound toys, this is like a thing that it goes back and forth between the speakers. So you could do like a rhythmic, like 4 per side pattern. 2, 3, 4, and then it's on and then it's going to the left side. It's like bouncing back and forth, and I could just make it a bit better actually. And so if you're listening on headphones, you can see it like it should be going back between your headphones.
In the wire, kicking the armor. Don't let go, don't let go. There's so much that I want. Eye of the tiger. Don't try to hide it and not.
Having more feedback on the delay would be better, I think, so we can hear the strings kind of feedback. Maybe something else here. Bit more ambient. It's cool.
Go, don't let go. There's so much that I want. Eye of the tiger. Don't try to hide it and not in the wire.
So if you do not have Pan Man, you can still do it. And we do it with automation. It's a little bit not as good, but like, so you go press A on your keyboard, open up automation, then go to, I think it's main pan absolute, and then click in so you can see when we are this region, when it's fully up here, it is panned to the left. So you can see as this cursor goes over this region, this thing here is going to change to the left now.
I know you're staring at the eye of the tiger. Don't try to hide it and not.
And essentially, we would just bring this one down, bring this one up, and bring this one down. And now it's panning back and forth, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, without me having to do anything.
I know you're staring at the eye of the tiger. Don't try to hide it and not in the wire. Kicking the armor. Don't let go, don't let go. There's so much that I want you.
The thing about the Pan Man and there's more plugins. I'm not sure, there's got to be more though. That will like do more of it. So in one go, you're kind of hearing it almost on both. It's like ping-ponging back and forth, which adds a cool effect. Yeah, good point. We actually did this because someone asked a question in the comments of how to use samples. So we're doing this out of principle, dragging samples in. I think regardless, AC3V3DA, that this is a good thing to know of how to drag samples in, cut them up, and do crazy stuff to them. Because having that as a skill, you can do it on anything, and it's going to save you. It's going to add new avenues for creativity in your tracks, because you won't just be having to rely on the sounds of the instruments. Because I mean, we could have totally just brought up a string instrument and played on the keyboard, da, 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 but I didn't actually think of doing that, and I thought of doing the looping, and then it eventually brought to this. So I think it's important to just do whatever comes first, and then eventually ideas will come. So cool, guys. I think I'm not sure. I hope this was beneficial, this lesson / idea that I had and how I went through it. Would you like to see me actually make this from scratch? Like today I made this song, and I could have actually live streamed the whole thing, but I just didn't have the live stream on. Would that be more cooler? Keep in mind that the live stream would then be like 4 hours long, but I suppose you could always watch it later. So give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. I know you came and looked cross and barely sat near. Oh my love, I know you came on a crack. All right, sorry about that. Not sure what happened there. Sorry. Not really sure. Yes, sorry, Greg. It did have audio actually for most of it, but just lost audio. How's everyone doing there? Everyone all right now? We did lose audio for a bit. I hope everyone's still feeling good. So that's all that's how far I would go on a mix level for production, and then I would leave it at that. And now where I would take this song is adding more instruments. Oh yeah, I love that snare, right? This is just a snare sample I have. It's pretty, I actually haven't done anything to it. It's just a fat real snare. Love it. But I haven't even compressed it or EQ'd it. So this is your raw good old snare. And yeah, what I was saying was I love to experiment with harmonies in production, so I would add another vocal track here. And I would oh god, nerve system monitoring. Should probably turn that off. Let's bump up that buffer speed. Okay, so let's add a harmony on some bits here. Initializing audio. All right. Once that initializes, oh yeah, I have my little frog guy. I actually put him on the song. He's in the beat somewhere. There he is, Mr. Frog. Way in the background. Just to add that nice kick on the snare. Nice little flavor. That's this guy right here. Using this SM7B. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Jamie. Super happy to hear that. Are you upgrading to Logic Pro? Welcome to this music production. Logic Pro X. I just went through, guys, if you're interested in just joining, I'm going to end the session soon because it's kind of getting long, but in this music production Monday, I went through this idea. It's just me singing here on a voice memo I had. I took on my phone this morning. And I went through the process of how I actually took that idea and made it into what we're listening to now, which is this. And if you're interested, start from the beginning and I go through that. And next Monday, I'll do something of the similar thing, or I'm going to actually just make a song from scratch and you can tune in and tune out when you want, and or watch it later. And I'll just kind of do things while you're watching. I know you came in the cross and bed and sat. So I'm just gonna mute the vocal for now, just because it's not done. these are just gibberish, and it's kind of distracting right now. I haven't written lyrics yet.
Go, don't let go. There's so much that I want you to know. Like when we lie beside each other, I can feel it trying to be smarter. Only makes it harder. Let it out, let it out. There's so much that I want you to know, so don't let go.
Yeah, so Chica, you're gonna have to go back to the beginning. When I end this in a few minutes, you can just watch it from the beginning and you can see the whole thing. And mostly just using Logic right now in this video. I sometimes do videos on Ableton and stuff, but this is very rare. I'll use Ableton for playing live, and I use Logic for all my songwriting and production. Okay, so then I would go and do harmonies and stuff, but honestly, my computer is going to blow up. I think it's having some trouble keeping up because I'm running a fair amount of plugins and I haven't frozen any tracks. I can go here and now freeze tracks. That's one thing you can do, guys. If you go to a track, like I would probably go to this ARP because it's a heavy Serum synth, and I go to track header components, go down to freeze, and then I can press this little snowflake, and now that's essentially bouncing this as an audio file, and it's not having to run the Serum synth. Oh boy, it's freezing that whole thing. And then it's gonna save your computer. But now if you want to make changes to the synth, you have to unfreeze it and go through that whole thing. So freezing is helpful when you're mixing, you're not having, or when you're done a track that you don't actually have to change the effects anymore, because you can see over here they're grayed out now. Okay, talk to you guys later. We'll see you in the next stream. Tune in for Music Friday, where we're going to talk about how to release or how to get streams on your music. My goal is to get 100,000 streams on my new song that I released last Friday, and I have about 10,000 streams already on it. So I'll show you how I got there, what I did, and how you can